meantime, I'm here working on a little video. I've been doing videos for the community. We actually, um, we actually did a teen challenge video with Master Builder Pete. So we waiting to see if we got first place on that. So right now I'm doing a little something. Shout outs to everybody who's my client. Shout out to y'all for being in business. I'm just doing a little something for Gigi's Music Cafe out there in Lauderdale area. Gigi's Music Cafe is in their 7th year anniversary. Shout out to Bojo's, that's a restaurant as well. Both of these places is independent, black owned, and I'm saying shout out to them specifically because it is August, National Black Business Month. So yeah, you gotta keep the apparel looking like it's volunteering at the library. I just try to spread a little bit of wealth of knowledge. And I most definitely must say, shout out to Glue Entertainment. I'm sorry, Glue Movement Radio. G is for God, love, unity, and entertainment. That's Glue, enlightenment. So, all right, I have some students, interns, and I'm teaching them financial literacy this year. So, Blue told me to spit a little knowledge for them. So I say, all right, I'll do that because, as business owners and as individuals, we need to know some of this information. Don't be confused and don't be thrown off. So what I'm teaching my students already have taught them is there's 3 forms of income: active, passive, and portfolio. So active is your typical work a job to get a check, and that means you're in the retail business, you're in the restaurant business. That's working, that's active. You got to engage and you got to clock in and do some work. A lot of times it's manual labor too, so that's active. Passive is actually you put in the work and then you get paid for it later. For example, I make a video, boom, a video, I sell it. I make a logo, I sell a logo. So that is active in a sense, but it's passive because if I write a book, then I made one-time effort in working, but that book can sell multiple times. So that's passive. I can put that on the shelf and they'll sell, 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 sell. Whereas active means you got to put in those hours and get the money. So now I'm talking about passive, which is put in work one time and keep it paid. So now portfolio is the last one. Portfolio is a collection of everything that you did that was passive. So let's say I wrote all these books, made all these movies. Now my portfolio is the collection of my brand. I can get paid for that too because they know to come to me for that style. The style of Spike Lee, the style of Tyler Perry. That's a portfolio, a collection of work. So you can always be paid for that. Those are 3 forms of income. Those are how you can get your income. Now, I want to give a shout out to Boyce Watkins. I was watching his YouTube channel and he broke down something dead serious. Income is not what people think it is, all right? Because you can have a high-paying job and still be like in corporate plantation. Because if you have a high-paying job, you're paying them for everything, but if they snip you off and fire you, then you're in a dilemma. So you got to keep multiple streams of income. Everybody know that, but everybody don't practice it. So multiple streams of income will keep you afloat. Because making $100,000 a year is awesome until they fire you, right? So yeah. Another thing about income, a whole lot of money on one job doesn't mean freedom. You got to have multiple sources, okay? So when we say income, there's a secret to it because a lot of people think that their salary is their income. So no, that's not the case. Salary is what you get paid, okay? But honestly, salary is your pay revenue. It's not your income, all right? The codes that we're using and the formula that you must know and be smart about, your revenue minus your living expenses equals your income. So now you have, this is what you made, this is what you had to pay for to survive, now you have your income. That income then gets taxed, so then you even have lesser. So I just want people to understand the hierarchy of it, man, because you be like, oh, I make this much, and it look good, but that's not your actual income. Income is what you can put in your pocket. Income is what you could look at in your savings account. But that is not, your salary isn't explaining your income, because you must first deduct your living expenses and your tax on income to say that you have this much money. All right, so that was just a little point I needed to make, because a lot of people just don't know that. And another thing I want to tell black businesses is that cash is the lowest moving asset. And you'll know that by going to the bank. You got a bag of cash, but they're only going to give you 2% on that in that savings account. So that's the lowest form of asset, cash money. Now, when you talk about real estate, you're talking about big percentages. You're talking about businesses and brands and selling companies and selling houses. Then you're talking about they paying much money. But cash money, you got a whole lot of cash money that's not exactly an asset. So I just want people to understand words like higher yielding investments. You know, I want y'all to know that difference between an asset and a liability, because you know all us, we get a lot of money. First thing we're doing is getting a fresh car, and that car is 60 grand when you're done paying for it. So wow, is that an asset? You need the car, but does need mean asset? Okay, so just some words to generate some thoughts, you know what I'm saying? And also another way of investing is smart spending. That's another, because if you spend smart, you're saving at the same time, and you can then use your capital. At that point, you can call it capital, because I have this to do what I want with it. So yeah, man, again, shout out to Glue Movement Radio. Shout out to the Jamaran College City Library for allowing me to do my thing here. I host programs. I am the Culture Arts Ambassador of Pompano Beach, Florida, and site manager of the Community Garden. So I like to say that I'm inserting culture, you know, because we're talking about business, and then I get out there and get my hands a little dirty with organic growing. We need to eat healthy. And then, you know, as far as culture, I think I'm bringing something brand new. Yeah. So thanks again for the opportunity to be on here. And I know you guys are working hard on the album. You know, I'm going to start tuning into the show a little bit more. You know, and that's it, man. Look, it's a code that we about to start making. February, Black History Month. Juneteenth, that's Black History. Now, skip another month, August, Black Business Month. Okay? Roll with the culture. Thank you.
Yeah. We out here. It's time. Right now. Yeah. Yeah.
Mic check. Yo, what's good? It's your boy, Brother Royce. One time for your mind, though, and you are live from the trenches for another episode of Glue Booming Radio. Let's get it going.
Yeah. While I was doing time in the summer, man, I missed 10 summers, but I kept my head high, had patience, stayed humble. People ask me all the time, how did I cope with the stress? I either talked on the phone, gambled, or played chess. I always knew that I was blessed. I always knew that I was faithful. Even when I ran down on niggas and put off capers, Judge did a nigga dirty, gave me 30 like I'm Curry. True story, no worry, similar to Tyson Fury when he fought Deontay and rolled back from the dead. People shocked, disbelief, Now they shaking they head. I really beat that murder charge and gave them 30 years back, and now I'm cooling in the summer. How you bet you love that?
Okay, we cooling in the summer. Used to storms and thunder. Used to sit and wonder if I'd ever come from under. Now I'm doing what I wanna. Nigga out here stunting. Nigga fun to struggle. Watch me bouncing back like rubber. Now we cooling in the summer. Used to storms and thunder. Used to sit and wonder if I'd ever come from under. Now I'm doing what I wanna. Nigga out here stunting. Nigga fun to struggle. Watch me bouncing back like rubber. We live, Blue Movement Radio. Welcome, y'all. Come on in. August is Black Business Month. Black Business Month. So as usual, we're gonna give y'all some of the game on how do we, as a people, move forward. It's actually not as philosophical as it sounds. It's not as esoteric as it sounds. There is a very obvious way and specific way as to how our people move forward from our current condition and our current position. And what you are listening to is that Cooling in the Summer by Hitmakers. Your boy Hakeem Royce, Slick Vic.
I know the pain of being black, no it ain't fair, shawty. So if I do this shit, I do this shit for everybody. See, everybody wanna be the boss, everybody wanna have the sauce. To be the boss, it don't take too long. To stand tall and rock for all the dogs. Yeah. When they see me, they may not know me, boy. But when they see me juking, they know I'm a Florida boy. Cool in the summer, used to storms and thunder. Used to sit and wonder if I'd ever come from under. Now I'm doing what I wanna. Nigga out here stunting. Nigga from the struggle, watch me bouncing back like rubber.
Welcome to another episode of Glue Movement Radio, and it is your boy Brother Royce. One time for your mind, though. We ain't gonna keep y'all too long. Just gonna give y'all a little game. August is, as we said at the top of the hour, Black Business Month. So right now, the condition that we're in, we could quote Nelson Mandela. And Nelson Mandela is quoted saying that the worst act of violence is poverty. Okay, it's been a lot of different acts of violence, you know what I'm saying? But Nelson Mandela is quoted saying the worst act of violence is poverty. Okay, so it is a little known fact because a lot of people probably don't care enough to do the research, but some of the most high crime communities, ghettos, projects are also the areas that have the greatest economic impoverishment and disenfranchisement. It is the areas that have the lowest employment rates. It is the areas whose schools have the least funding for after-school programs and extracurricular activities. It is the areas that have the least businesses. Oftentimes there are food deserts, so the youth of that area are living off of corner store snacks or gas station snacks. Okay, and these consequently end up being some of the highest crime areas in America. So you can get into mental health. Mental health is a huge issue in the Black community. We talk on this show all the time about PTSD, which is post-traumatic slave disorder, which science has already proven that trauma can be passed down through genetics. Trauma can be inherited. So for everybody who's like, well, slavery doesn't matter to me because I was never a slave. Trauma can be passed down genetically, can be inherited. So the Black people that you see today, the condition of our nation today is a direct result, is the product of slavery. So this is where we have to deal with the mental health of our people, also transforming the mentality. What's up, Miss Lisa's learning a lot of success. What's going on with you? It's also where the mentality of our people have to be changed as well. The most prevalent thing that we need in our community, even before I would say mental health is a close second, but the most prevalent thing that we need in our community is economic independence. That is the most prevalent thing that we need in our community. Economic empowerment, which brings about economic independence. Okay, trauma can be passed down genetically. Trauma can be passed down generationally, but the trauma is activated every time a child has to go to bed without a hot meal to eat. Every time a child has to walk the streets with no food. Every time a child has no money to take care of his family. Every time his family is hungry. Every time his family is starving. Every time the lights are getting cut off. Every time the car is getting repossessed. Every time they're threatened with getting kicked out of their home. Every time they go in the refrigerator and there's no food. Every time they go in the closet and there's no clothes. Every time they go to the house and there's 10 people to a 1-bedroom house. Okay, these are things that activates the traumas in the black man, in the black community, in the black nation. These are the things that make us as a people snap. Okay, part of the things that the elders and the leaders in the black community are doing today is coming up with programs for the youth. Okay, where the youth can come and work and get paid. Okay, it's not a lot. It ain't $15, $16, $17, $18 an hour, but it does give the youth an honest way to put cash and to put money in their pocket. Okay, it's one thing that my brother always say. My brother always say fast money is crash money, and slow money is that for show money. So we ain't gonna pay as much as you can make out there, nickel and diamond, and what I'm saying, doing what you're doing out there on the corner, whatever it may have you. But we do teach them that there are other ways and there are other avenues to get money in your pocket if you're willing to be persistent, consistent, you know what I'm saying? And if you're willing to be patient, and that last one is hard, you know what I'm saying? But if you're willing to possess these 3 things, you will be able to make money a number of ways without having to endanger your freedom, without having to put you in front of some police officer's gun, and without having to just create a whole bunch of extra obstacles in your life. It's a scripture in the Bible that says, "The Lord addeth wealth, but addeth no sorrow with it." It says, "Wealth is gotten with great sorrow, but the Lord addeth wealth with no sorrow." Okay, so wealth that is gained righteously comes with no sorrow, but wealth is hastily gotten with much grief and much sorrow. Okay, so we start teaching our youth the ways, okay, to break some of these economic disenfranchisements. Okay, but what we need in our community is black businesses. What we need in our community is for us to start creating jobs for our people. That is what we need. And August is Black Business Month. Okay, so what we need to do, as I said, is start creating jobs for our people. And we are in a time right now where the climate is so rich. Okay, by God's grace, the climate is so rich. Okay, I always tell everybody the example about the little girl flexing in my complexion, who was a dark-skinned girl who got picked on at school. Okay, because she was very, very dark-skinned. Okay, and she will go home crying every day to her parents about they're always picking on me in school because they say I'm too black, they say I'm too dark. So from this, she created a clothing line called Flexing in My Complexion. That's the clothing line she created. She created a clothing line, and the tag for this clothing line was Flexing in My Complexion. And I believe the first day she ever opened her door to sales, she made $10,000. Okay. Not only did she make $10,000, she was on about 3 different talk shows in the course of a month. In the course of 1 month, she was on 3 different talk shows, including the Steve Harvey show. Okay, so pretty much within, I would say, counting the time that it would take to produce the clothing line, I would say in less than a year and half a year's time, she was putting bands, okay, tens of bands, dozens of bands in the bank from her clothing line, flexing on my complexion. And if I'm not mistaken, when this little girl started this clothing line, she was between 12, not even 15 years old. Okay, just from starting the clothing line. So when I see my youth, I see my 15-year-olds, my 16-year-olds, my 17-year-olds, my 14-year-olds, I'm like, there's no reason for you to be out there slinging nothing. There's no reason for you to be out there robbing nothing. There's no reason for you to be doing all that to get bread. If you put your mind to it, if you put your mind to it, you understand, you can come up with a hustle to make some bread. You feel me? But money that is gained without sorrow does come with hard work. It comes with hard work. It comes with getting up in the morning. It comes with going to bed early. It comes with grinding. It comes with pushing. You know what I'm saying? There are days I'm like, man, I gotta go to the station today. I just left my second job. I just left the third job. You know what I'm saying? I gotta go up to the station. I gotta put in that work. That's paying the cost to be the boss. That's the cost to be the boss. There are sacrifices that come with this thing. And as I said, you know, in the song that we recorded, you know, you don't sacrifice your team for yourself. You gotta make the sacrifices. You gotta be the one to make the play. When the rock is in your hand, you don't always have somebody to pass it to. You gotta be the one to take the shot. And you gotta be the one who can be depended on to make the shot. You know what I'm saying? So the sacrifices is, while everybody's partying, you in the gym, practicing your layups, practicing your shot. While everybody getting high and posted up and running with friends and doing all this, you on the court. After hours, practicing your shot, practicing your layup. Everybody in the club, they're partying. Yo, man, we got a bunch of freaks. We got a bunch of weed. We got a bunch of liquor, bro. We about to go back to the hotel, bro. We about to have a good time, bro. Yo, bro, come with us, bro. And, man, you know, I'm going to holler at y'all later, man. Y'all boys get down, man. Y'all wild, man. Y'all wild. Get down, bro. Get down. You're at the court, practicing your shot. You're sitting in your room, dribbling the ball between your legs. You know what I'm saying? This is the cost that has to be paid to be the boss. You know what I'm saying? So this is the cost that has to be paid so that we can start rebuilding our communities. And when I say rebuilding our communities, I in no means just mean geographic locations. If there are, 10,000 blacks in a Chicago community, they are the community, not the geographic location. Because gentrification can have you move to a new city real quick. So, we are talking about buying back the block in a sense, but we're talking about what are you doing on the block? You know what I'm saying? Okay, if we got gentrification comes when the property value of your community has been driven down so low that it becomes cheap for those who flip properties, who flip communities, for those who want to build housing developments. You know what I'm saying? But opening businesses in your community keeps the property value high. You know what I'm saying? Having people in your community that's working and everybody's earning an income and everybody, all of these kind of things contribute to keeping the property value high. You understand what I'm saying? So we do have to start creating jobs for our people, and for a lot of us to understand the necessity of us creating jobs and programs so we can employ our own people and pay them, pay them may not be a whole lot, you know what I'm saying, but to get bread in their pocket and keep the machine moving until we can collectively make something together. You know what I'm saying? To see the necessity of that, you need that financial literacy. You know what I'm saying? The shots out to Mr. David Miller. You know what I'm saying? He was on the program earlier giving us a little financial literacy tips. You know what I'm saying? When I repost this episode, get it all edited and get it all cleaned up, I'm going to have that in there. Mr. David was sitting with us for about 10 minutes, just giving us the jargon and giving us the, very basic level, financial literacy courses. But the black community more than anything needs financial literacy. Okay? Because We have a lot of money that comes through our hands and it goes right back out. You know what I'm saying? If you can have a $250,000 chain around your neck, you could have opened a business with that. If you could have a watch on your wrist that costs the same thing as a down payment for a house, you could have opened a business with that. You know what I'm saying? If you're gonna have a car that costed, a down payment of $150 million, you know what I'm saying? What Bugatti Veyron is $1 million. I think I don't keep up with celebrity stuff, but I think Cardi B bought a car that was $500,000. You know what I'm saying? And to credit to Cardi B, she has a business. If you have a business and you're employing your people and you're taking care of your community, why the hell not? You know what I'm saying? I mean, go for it. You know what I'm saying? Do your thing. Your home is taken care of. But if you don't even own a home, or if you don't have some kind of business in your community that's employing your people, but you have a $250,000 diamond chain around your neck, that's hustling backwards. You know what I'm saying? We're trying to break the mentality that says you spend your advancement money on jewelry. We don't spend our advancement money on jewelry. We don't. If you gave me $1 million to create an album, I'm gonna take that $1 million and I'm gonna create a work of art. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna create something that's gonna reach soul. That's gonna reach your mind. That's gonna have you thinking. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna take my advance money and spend 75% of that money on clothes and jewelry and cars, and then 25% of it on putting out a half-ass project or a half-ass album. You know what I'm saying? Like, we have a lot of money that comes through our hands, but the thing is, we're not taught financial literacy. We're not taught financial literacy at all. We're not taught the value, you know what I'm saying, of a dollar. And, that can be taken a lot of ways, the value of a dollar, but we're not taught how the dollar can be used. We're not taught how to keep dollars in our community. We are taught how to shop with other nations. We're taught how to get the check so I can get Gucci. We're taught how to get the check so I can get Louis Vuitton. We're taught how to get the check so I can get that foreign car. We're taught how to get the check so I can go to this Asian man and buy this jewelry. That's what we're taught. We're taught how to spend with other nations. And in some communities, we're actually robbing and killing one another for money that we're gonna go spend somewhere else. We're actually robbing and killing each other to go purchase other people's products. So what we have to do is we have to become the #1 producers of the products that we use. You know what I'm saying? Black people love fried chicken. I love fried chicken. It's good as hell. You know what I'm saying? You shouldn't be going to no white man named Colonel Sanders to get fried chicken if it's something you as a people eat all the time. Before the hair stores started selling the shea butters and all that stuff, Walgreens was selling black shea butter, black soap, and black hair argan oil and all of these. And I'm like, damn, we don't even sell the lotion that we use on our skin. We don't even sell the shampoo and conditioner that we use in our hair. The African dashikis that everyone was buying was made in Pakistan, sold from Vietnam. Like, we didn't even make the African culture clothing. Other companies was making African culture clothing to sell to African people. You know what I'm saying? And whether you identify yourself as an African person or not, okay, if you wearing the clothing, you identify in some way. And if you are wearing African clothing, at least let it be sewn and made by Africans. You got the Japanese and the Asians and the Vietnamese and the Korean people making money on selling you your own culture. Selling you your own culture. So the #1 thing we have to do is start coming up with a business. And that's easy for us, because to start a business, the first thing you have to do is identify your problem. Identify your problem that needs to be solved. Once you identify a problem that needs to be solved, now your business, you form a business that becomes the solution to that problem. in the black community is riddled with problems that need to be solved. So there are dozens, hundreds, thousands of opportunities to start a business in the black community, because starting a business starts with what problems need to be solved. Okay, and there are many problems in the black community. You can point out and say, I'm going to come up with a business to deal with that. You got Alibaba.com. You can go on Alibaba.com and you can wholesale shirts, do-rags, tank tops, whatever it is. Come up with a logo, come up with a design, stitch it on your clothing, stitch it on your gear. Bam, you got a business. If y'all my homeboy, cop one of these shirts. If y'all my homeboys, cop one of these do-rags. If y'all my homeboys, take an Instagram pic wearing the do-rag. If you my homeboy, take an Instagram pic wearing the shirt. If you my, this is the kind of relationships we gotta start building. Cause anybody can smoke together. Anybody can shoot together. I'm saying, trust me, bro. Trust me, bro. Anybody can shoot together. The same person that's shooting for you in 2018 will be the same one shooting at you in 2019. Anybody can pull triggers together. Anybody can rob people together, B&E together. You know, I hear, you know, I'm around so many youth, so I listen to the music that my youth listen to, and they're like, oh, I don't trust you if you ain't got some dirt on your name. So you build a relationship of who all got dirt on their name. That person, that anybody can build those kind of relationships. It don't take no man to shoot nobody. It don't take no man to stand out on the corner and sell it to anybody. Can build. Let's build relationships where we start building businesses together. Let's start going into businesses together. And we build a relationship where we each support one another's businesses. I buy your shirts, you buy my hats, I buy your book bags, you buy my purses, I buy your brand of socks, I buy your hoodies, I buy your jacket. That's what I'm talking about. That's the kind of relationships that we need to start building in the black community. Even from a teenage, are y'all getting money together? Can the cops kick in your door and take it whenever they're ready for it? Are y'all building generational wealth? Generational wealth, something that can be passed down to your children, a business or something you can hand down to the next generation. The thing with the black community is every generation has to start from scratch. Every generation has to start from scratch. There's nothing that passes down from the last generation. At least when we had no businesses or nothing passing down from the previous generation, at least we had the wisdom and the lessons and life experiences passed down from the last generation. And this generation doesn't even have that. You know what I'm saying? A lot of parents aren't even talking to their kids. A lot of parents aren't even present for their children. So the children are doing the exact same thing that the mother did, the exact same thing that the father did. Now, let me tell you something. If you are a parent and your child is doing the same things that you did, making the same mistakes that you did, falling in the same traps that you fell in, you have failed as a parent. You feel me? If I had to sell dope and I had to sling drugs, I'm selling dope and I'm slinging drugs so my children don't have to. If I'm slinging dope and selling drugs and then my children have to come and sling dope and sling drugs, I failed as a parent. I failed. It should be like a staircase. Each generation should begin a little better off than the generation before. Even if it's just a little fun to go to college, to get your child some knowledge to where they can, put their head in the game. Even if it's just you putting $10 a week aside or whatever. Every time you get paid, put $20 in a bank account for your child, and your child get it when they 18. Whatever. But when every generation in the black community has to start over from scratch, the generation that we have now is like, man, I ain't finna start over. Man, I'm finna just go sell this dope. I'm finna just go rob. I'm finna just go shoot it out. If he got it, I'm just gonna take it off him. But you mean I gotta start all the way over from scratch? I ain't got a business, an account. We ain't got no food in the refrigerator. Damn, I gotta start. And then my mama was living like this. My grandma was living like this. Damn. This generation today is like, nah, bro, I'm finna just go sling. I'm finna just go sell weed. I'm finna just go sell crack. I'm finna just go sell coke. Every generation, you should set up for the next generation, no matter how small. You should set up for the next generation to be doing slightly better, at least slightly better than what you was doing. No generation have to start over from complete scratch. Complete scratch. And we're talking about alleviating that by creating businesses. Creating something that can be passed down. A barbershop can be passed down. An automotive mechanic shop can be passed down. A trade, a skill, a craft, art, all of these things can be passed down. These are things that can be passed on to the next generation. You know what I'm saying? But just having kids and leaving them to the street, if you have nothing to give them, at least give them your wisdom and your past experiences and your past life experiences so that they don't make the same mistakes you make. You know what I'm saying? But even if that's all that you have to give them, you still have people like, well, no matter what you tell them, they still gonna do what they gotta do anyway. Sometimes you can talk to them till you blue in the face, but at the end of the day, they still gonna do what they gotta do because they're still facing the same conditions you faced when you did it. If we have no problems to solve in our community, at the very least, the problems that we have to solve in our community is making sure our children don't have to face the same things that we faced. At the very least, that's a problem that all of us need to take on. Making sure our children don't have to go through the same things we went through. And until you can deal with that, until you can alleviate that, until you can deal with those circumstances, you don't have a child. You don't bring a child into this earth until you set up for that child to at least be doing better than you were when you were born. At least. You know what I'm saying? But just to have a child here, oops, I dropped the child. And the dad like, well, that ain't mine. My pull-out game's strong. You feel me? And the mother like, well, if this baby can't help me keep my man, I don't really care about it much myself. And then you just have a child that's just out here, turned over by the system, being raised by the system, being prepped to be killed by the system. You understand? This is where we take our stand. This is where we draw the line in the sand. This is where we stand up and say, okay, you know what? Whatever mistakes I made from this day forward is done. The first thing I'm going to do is start creating something for my children. No matter how small, creating something for my children. And if your children grow up and they decide, you know what, I don't want to work in the family business, that's fine. Go find somebody in the community who doesn't have that opportunity, who doesn't have a father. It's so much that can be done. There are so many children in the community that don't have fathers, that we need strong male role models to stand up and take care of them. And your child may not be the one that carries on your legacy. It may be one of the children that you took in off the street. Maybe your child is like, oh, that's just dad. I see dad every day. I see dad all the time. I see dad when he's in his pajamas. I see dad when he's eating spaghetti and spilling the sauce all over his shirt. That's his dad. But maybe to that young boy you took off the street, he's like, man, that's my everything. This guy don't know me from a can of paint, but he took me off the street when I was homeless. So whatever he need me to do, I do it. I'm down. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it's not your child that picks up after the family business. But as long as we keep it within our nation, then we got it. But every time we get a business and the business gets successful and the business becomes wealth, it becomes something that can jump generational gaps, the first thing we do is sell it to the white man. And it's like, damn, look at Dre Beats. Look at Dre Beats. Dre Beats, and he's a producer, one of the most successful producers of all time. Dr. Dre, excuse me, Dr. Dre is one of the most successful producers at all time. Who has spent thousands of dollars, thousands of hours listening to music on headphones. So those Dre beats, I had beats, and I'm like, yo, these things are amazing. And that empire became so big that I'm like, dude, you can pass this down to your children and your grandchildren. Then I picked up the newspaper. Dre sells beats for $1 billion. Like, oh, he sold it? Well, he got $1 billion. Bump that. Good job. I'm like, yeah, he got riches, but that was wealth. You don't sell wealth for riches. That's hustling backwards. That's passive income. That $1 billion is going to sit in your bank account. And even if you invest it into another business, that's another business that you have to build up from scratch. That's riches. But you don't sell wealth for riches. Them headphones, that's passive income. That is income coming to you for the rest of your life, for your son's life, for your grandchildren's life. You sold it. But everybody like, man, I ain't trying to hear that, man. He got $1 billion. Do you got $1 billion? Do you got $1 billion? So now I don't want to hear it, man. He got $1 billion. So all that matters, he got $1 billion, man. Bump that. I don't care what nobody. He got $1 billion. I don't care. All right. They did an interview with Dre. A couple months later, the year hadn't even finished yet. And Dr. Dre said, I regret selling beats by Dre. Dr. Dre said, I regret selling beats by Dre. You know why? Because they bought it from Dr. Dre for $1 billion. They made $36 billion off of those headphones. They bought it from Dre for $1 billion. That's generational wealth. That was a $36 billion company that was sold for $1 billion. And again, that goes back to financial literacy. Back-end money is better than front-end money. We got bills and we get hungry and we don't have food in the refrigerator and you know, sometimes you need that front-end money. Like, look, bro, I need this payment now. You feel me? I got an eviction notice on my door now. Okay? So they talking about turning my lights off now. So I don't need to do no job and wait 1 year for the money to come in. I need this money now. Agreed. But that's what we as parents and leaders in our community have to do. We're the ones who got to take care of that. Okay, if it's going to take 1 year for your child's business to see profit, that's fine if they started when they're a child, because during that 1 year, they're living with their moms. They're living in your house. They're eating off of your food. They're living under your roof. They're probably still in school. You understand? You get them started while they have that year to work on a business that's not bringing in income. That's when you get them started, because you living with me anyways. You eating my food up anyways. You know what I'm saying? You got a room in the back anyways. You feel me? Now, as far as your little school clothes and all that, I ain't doing that, but you got a roof over your head, you got food on your table, you got a place to take a shower. This is the time for you to start your business. But most people start their businesses after they're already on their own. And now that 1, 2, 3, up to 5 years that it may take for that business to get off the ground, you hungry and you starving and you, oh my God, this is why I don't want to start no business, because this thing is impossible. And that's why you don't see more businesses in the Black community. That is why you don't see more businesses in the Black community. Not to mention, Blacks have been separated from their history. So we don't go back to the time periods in history where black people were wealthy in this country. During the Marcus Garvey era, black people were wealthy in this country. During the Martin Luther King era, black people were wealthy in this country. Now, by looking at Martin Luther King, you wouldn't think so, but look at what Malcolm X was doing. Malcolm X and the Nation of Islam was opening up businesses and opening up economic empowerment in communities up in New York, up in Harlem. They had dry cleaners, laundromats, dry cleaners, restaurants. Nation of Islam was opening up all kind of businesses up there. Black man was rich. Black people had millionaires. Black Wall Street. Black Wall Street was 600 businesses. They had schools, restaurants, they had everything. You never needed to leave a community. There was a place to wash clothes. There was a place to buy food. There was a place to get groceries. There was a movie theater. There was a hotel. There was a motel. There was a Holiday Inn. There was everything. You know what I'm saying? But most of these things were supported by working class black families. You don't see too much rich single fathers. You don't see too many rich single mothers. It's doable, but back in the time where we as a black people were collectively rich, it was sponsored, it was taken care of by working class black families. A man and a woman that came together and agreed to get that bag. You feel me? Nowadays, a man can't, our youth, our young men don't even know how to talk to a woman without referring to her as a bitch or a hoe or a thought or something. The woman not even talk to the man about, oh, y'all ain't good for nothing but dick and money, sex and money. Niggas ain't good for nothing, but I can get my own money. So, and hell, I can get a female that got a strap on. So I don't need no nigga for nothing. All of these mentalities lead to poverty in the black community. Poverty in the black community. You feel me? I know a lot of single mothers out there sweating to get it done. And it take everything they got to keep their head above water. And I'm talking about, I know plenty. I know a lot of single brothers out there, good brothers. Working, sweating, dying, 2-3 jobs just to keep their head above water. Just to keep their head above water. When black people were collectively rich, it was working class black families. Working class black families. Men and women that were able to come together and generate wealth. You understand what I'm saying? Generate massive income. But even the dynamic between our women and our men have been destroyed. All of it's been destroyed. You know what I'm saying? So these are the things we need. These are the things that once we start realizing that building economic independence and building economic empowerment is the foremost important thing in the black community right now. These are the things that will start guiding the relationships that we make, the connections that we make, that starts guiding our life. Our life. Because if I ask a girl, okay, that guy that you slept with, who ended up giving you that child that he didn't stay around to take care of, was he a businessman? Oh, he had money. How was he earning it? Selling dope? That don't count. Because there's a lot more creative ways to get money out here than just selling dope is the first way out. You know, so I talk to my little young youth cats about, man, you don't need to be out here selling dope. And you, in your late 20s and your 30s, people with salt and pepper beards still sitting out here selling dope. Come on, bro. You're not trying. You're not trying. You could have been flipped that money. You could have been got out the game. You're not trying. You like Mitch from Paid in Full. You feel me? Man, I love the game. I love walking in the club and niggas saying my name over the loudspeaker, dog. I'm in love. You could have been got out the game. I know I can lead a league. I know. But would niggas still, would I still be famous? Would niggas still know me? Huh? But niggas still salute me when I drive down the street. Nigga, I love the game. And now you a 40-year-old man putting drugs and guns in the hands of youth in your community. Yeah, all of them work for me. Brother, you could have did that on a business. You could have put that same work in them youth's hands on a business. You could have opened up a little car lot that make dunks. And have some of these little youth take a little automotive mechanic class and come work at your body shop. You ain't gotta put dope in their hands. You ain't gotta put guns in their hands. There's plenty of ways to empower our youth without having our youth out there shooting each other. Hey man, that man owed me some money. Come here, little man. Come here, dog. Hey, you know, I've been watching you for a long time. I think it's time for me to promote you, you know what I'm saying? I think it's time for me to give you a little corner. Damn, a whole corner? Yeah, it's time for me to give you a little corner, you feel me? You gonna make some real money out there, dog, but I'm calling you up because I know you bought that. But, I need you to go put in this work on this nigga right quick. I need you to go lay this nigga down for me, lay him down for me, put him down for me, you know what I'm saying? Do that shit clean, do that shit thorough. Matter of fact, I'm gonna pay you half up front. You get another little bit when you lay the nigga down for me. You a grown ass man. You a grown ass man. And you got little 14, 15-year-old, 16-year-old kids out here pulling triggers for you. You a grown ass man. You feel me? But it says fools multiply in the absence of wise men. Fools multiply in the absence of wise men. Fools multiply when wise men are silent. Fools multiply when wise men are inactive. If you want to do that, go ahead. Sell that dope and do that, and the cops gonna be looking for you and go through all that shit that you gotta go through for that. Or you can come over here and work this job that we're creating to build jobs and build safe places for our youth to come and put food on their table and clothes on their back and help secure the roof over their head. I set before you life and death. Choose one. But we need the leaders and mentors in our community to build up that path of righteousness. Righteousness ain't got nothing to do with no church or sitting in no pews. It's living your life in a way that does not hurt your people or your community. Living your life in a way that does not damage your people or damage your community. That's living righteously. Simple as that. You ain't gotta know no Bible scriptures. You ain't gotta be in church on Sunday. Living righteously is living in a way that does not bring harm to your community or to your people. You understand? So, I always tell it's different with the youth, because I tell the youth, a business starts with your passion. What are you passionate about? What do you love doing? This what you're passionate about? This what you love doing? Okay, cool. If this what you're passionate about and this is what you love doing, make a business out of it. Turn it into a business. Turn it into a hustle. Turn it into a business. But a lot of our youth, they don't know what they're passionate about. They don't know what they like doing. They barely even know themselves. All they know is that I need money, I'm hungry. I need food on my table, I need clothes on my back, I'm hungry. I'm tired of wearing the same. My clothes is 5 sizes too small. And they're trying, man. I will always defend our black youth. They're trying. They're trying. But the environment, in the absence of us doing what we're supposed to be doing, the environment has gotten so bad that these youth have just been coupled with lack of strong parenting in the home. The youth just don't have the strength to stand against the wind. They just don't. And that's where we come in as leaders and mentors, and shots out and salute to Circle of Brotherhood, you know, who putting in crazy work in the Liberty City area. Shouts out to Mr. Miller. Shouts out to Lay Sing Projects for putting in crazy work with the youth in the Pompano area. We need to get our youth out of the street. We need to get our youth out of this street. You know what I'm saying? We need to. We need to. We need to. If you are a father, you are the fathers of the community. If you are a mother, you are the mother of the community. We gotta start taking care of our community. Gotta start taking care of our people. If I have no skill, no trade, no nothing, if I can just open up a black-owned corner store, I've done my part. You feel me? If I have no skill, no trade at all whatsoever, okay, y'all like Chick-fil-A, what Rick Ross did, y'all like Wingstop, okay, well, we finna franchise this Wingstop, and all the money you spend at this Wingstop is gonna come back into this community. Something. But we gotta start building businesses to start bringing money back into our community. To start pooling money for our community. To start investing in different entities and businesses in our community. And we as a community make the decisions on what business take investment. It ain't gonna be nobody stealing the money. It ain't gonna be nobody snatching the money. It ain't gonna be no money going into a black hole. For every dollar that we put in your hands, we need to see it manifest in our community. I don't know if it was Umar Johnson, I don't know who it was who said churches, for example, take in about $1.5 million a week. $1.5 million a week. But churches are located in some of the most economic impoverished communities. They are located in the communities with some of the highest crime rates in America. The ghettos and hoods in America with the greatest crime rates have the most churches. And you're taking in 1.5 million. I wouldn't say, I don't know if it's a week, I don't know if it's a month, but within the course of a year, these churches see 1.5 million. So if we're putting this much money into any establishment, I need to see the fruits of that money. I don't need to see your new car. I don't need to see your new house. I don't need to see your fancy clothes. I don't need to see your. I don't need to see none of that. I need to see where this money is going into the community. If your church is making $1.5 million in a year, I need to see where you've built the playground. I need to see where you've built the park. I need to see where you've opened up a business that's employing the people in your church. You understand? I need to see where you helping some people keep their bills paid. I need to see where you helping keep the children off the street. Does the church have a homeless shelter? Does the church have a runaway youth program? Does the church have a mental health facility? Does the church have a workforce program? There's 1.5 million that you're taking in a year. How come I don't see it in your community? This says when the enemy comes like a flood, the Lord will raise up a standard. This is a standard that has to be set for every business that is running into the community. I need you to show me where your business is taking care of more than just your own family. What is your business doing for the community that it is in? And we should be able to walk into any business, any church, or any facility and sit down and talk with the leadership and be like, if you are collecting money from this community, show me where this money is benefiting the community. And we should have a right to get an answer. If you walk into the wrong church, man, security will pick you up and carry you out that church, and they will have you arrested and thrown in jail. You should be able to sit down with any pastor, any business leader, anybody taking money in the community and be like, show me where this money is benefiting the community. Because God says things are first natural, then spiritual. And everything that God speaks about that's spiritual does have a natural connotation. We try to trap God's words to the spirit so that naturally we can live anyway while claiming that we understand the words, but all of his words have a natural manifestation that goes along with it. So I've studied the Bible and heard the sermons and the preachings and the teachings and just everything that you can hear. I need to see it manifest naturally. Walk by faith, not by sight. Of course, when you put a seed in the ground, it's going to take some months for the tree to grow, for the branches to go, for the leaves to grow, and finally to get the fruit. But you can't eat bark. You can't eat branches. You can't eat leaves. You can't live off leaves. You can't eat roots. You have to get the fruit. So show me the fruit of your spiritual teachings. And I will show you God. Everything that God speaks, it produces fruit. So I'm not wowed by sermons and preaching and messages, and I don't care how good it sounds. I don't care how knowledgeable and intellectual it sounds. And you pull out dictionaries and concordance. I can do that to my nose bleed. I can break down Hebrew language and break down the scriptures and show me where it has manifested in your life. Show me where it has become a blessing to the people around you. Show me where it has changed the living conditions and the circumstances of your people, of your congregation. If you can't show me that, then you're another speaker, another talker, another speaker, another talker. But we are in the trenches. In the trenches for our people. In the trenches for our youth. Shoot, in the trenches for our men, women, and children. In the trenches for our nation. We are making those sacrifices. We are putting in work. Persistent. Consistent. Perseverance. Patience and long suffering on this battlefield called life to create a better day for the next generation. And that is the mentality that all of us as a people need to have. We need to start thinking generationally. $250,000 bust down chain is not going to help your child. That's not even generational wealth, because the value of diamonds is constantly fluctuating. So if you say, oh, I got a $250,000 bust down chain for $100,000, how do you know it's $250,000? Who set the standard and the measurement is not fiat currency. Diamonds and all that stuff, there's a man who sits there and says, I decide based on this scale that I created that this is how much that's worth. That ain't fiat currency. Anything where the value is constantly changing and constantly going up and down, that's governed by man. Therefore, it cannot be counted as generational wealth, because it may not mean the same thing in your child's generation that it means in yours. Walking around with $100,000 in cash is not generational wealth. The only thing that's backing the American dollar is the faith of the American people. The minute the American people say we don't believe in this crap no more, that money is as good as trash in the street. There will come a day when you will see $100 bills just thrown in the street because it no longer has any value. So while you have that money and that money still has value, what are you going to do to invest and build something generationally? Money is a means to an end. It's not an end. It's a means to get something done. It is a way to get something done. But what are you trying to do? What is your purpose? If you don't have a purpose, if you don't know what you're trying to do, if you don't know what you're trying to accomplish, then take the time to figure that out before you start hustling. Before you start hustling. hustling to take care of your family, okay, cool. That's a start. That is a start. Now, what about the other people that's struggling just like your family? What about your community? What about your city? I got my city on my back. I got my city on my back. I rep my hood everywhere I go. Okay, how much money have you put into your community? I don't care about you getting on the radio talking about I put on for my city. How much money have you invested into your community? Show me the community that you have on your back. Show me the condition of the community you represent every day. It's just like another pastor thing. You're rapping, got all these jewels and nice clothes, and I rep my city, I rep my hood, but your hood. That's why a lot of these rappers be like, oh, you know, when you get famous, you can't go back to your hood no more. Yeah, because when you get famous, you don't take care of your community. When you get famous, oh, nigga, this is my money. Y'all can't get shit. Y'all got to hustle just like I did. That's why you can't go back to your community. Because you got $1 million in your bank account right now, and you ain't put up no businesses. You ain't invested in no after-school programs. You ain't invested in no extracurricular activities to keep the youth off the streets. You bought a chain. You bought a watch. You paid for pussy. You bought hoes. You threw money at the strip club. Meanwhile, your community is in poverty. You understand? If you say I rep my city and I take care of my city, show me what you've done for your city. Show me what businesses you put up in your city. Show me how you've improved your city. Show me the condition of the people in your city. And if the people in your city is living like shit, then don't hop on no record and no music video talking about I put on for my city. Because your city look like shit. So which city you putting on for? You sound like a pastor. Talk. But you've become a black hole of finances. You understand? No more talking. It's time for action. It's time to put in the work. You understand? As I said at the top of this program, August is Black Business Month. So it's time for us to start coming up with some businesses, man. If I got a business sewing clothes, well, I'm gonna gather all my niggas who know how to sew, or all my niggas who want to learn how to sew, and I'm gonna give y'all a job. But if I'm an automotive mechanic, I make dope ass rides, well, I'm gonna teach y'all some automotive skills. I'm gonna open up a little school or something. We'll start up a little program to just teach y'all how to fix on cars and work on cars. And y'all gonna help me work on this together. I don't care if I got a t-shirt print company. If you got a print machine, all right, I'm giving you all the work for this t-shirt company. Anytime I get any orders from anywhere in the nation, you the one that print my shirts. This is how much I pay you every month to keep my shirts coming in. This to take care of the ink. This to take care of the electricity. That, you know what I'm saying, that it approximately runs to keep the machine going. It's gonna take care of all the materials, and it's a little bit on the top for you to put in your pocket. As long as you print my shirts, you'll never have to worry about having no money in your pocket. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. August is Black Business Month. So we need to start looking at building businesses, opening businesses, and economically empowering our people. This ain't all, man. We got plenty more to cover, plenty more to go over in this August Black Business Month. We just scratched the surface. So shouts out to everybody who tuned in. We love y'all. Thank you to Mr. David Miller. All praise be to the Most High God, Yahweh. You know, you go through tough times, we go through hard times, but we can't never let that affect our relationship with the Most High God. You know what I'm saying? No matter what we go through, we gotta praise Him. You know what I'm saying? And we gotta thank Him, and we gotta give Him His due diligence, give Him His glory. You understand? So, you know what I'm saying? We live. Another episode. Blue Movement Radio. In the trenches, in the field. Keeping it pushing. Doing what we gotta do to make this thing happen. Dreams don't work if we ain't willing to. So, holla at your boy. It's your boy, Brother Rest one time for your mind, though. All praise be to the Most High God, Yahweh, God of gods, Lord of lords. Thank you. Thank you for tuning in. Catch us next week where we continue with August Black Business Month. Holla at your boy. Let's get this thing pushing.